Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Eric Christoff of Avondale Football. How are you, Eric?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, man, coming off a pretty good football season. Obviously, not the way you guys wanted to end it, but
Nope.
one of the most successful seasons that this program has seen in a long time. Best season since 2012. Got your first playoff win in 10 years. What was it just like to just be a part of this team?
It felt great. I mean, we had a big brotherhood. That's the biggest thing about the whole team is that we really felt like a team. It was a team, and it felt great to be a winner overall. That's all. Like to me, football is winning, and just to be able to win and just be around the winning aspect and because like making that my own tradition is to win. And that's all I think about is winning. So it was a blessing to be a part of this team for sure.
Yeah. Of course, the biggest story heading into, this season is you have a new
Mhm.
coach.
Yeah.
Coach Meyer coming in there and, you know,
Mhm.
and what was that like just to have him, obviously, someone that's been around for a little bit.
Mhm.
What was that like to have him come to Avondale and, really kind of turn this thing around?
Um, when he first came in, I trusted him. Were the ones that chose him, or our other captains chose him. I wasn't in the process of choosing him. Um, but there was a lot of trust for sure. I mean, 35 years is a lot of years of football. He coached for 35 years and has been at three different schools and won state championships. So you got to believe him. And that was the biggest thing for me is that when this coach comes in, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to put my faith in him, and we're going to win football games.
Yeah. To be a part of this team that had, beaten a lot of really, really good teams on your schedule. And
Yeah.
really just kind of just also this class, just your senior class kind of coming together. What was
Yeah.
that just like to see as you guys went through this season?
Um, It was just great because the seniors this year were dedicated for sure. I was dedicated. I was traveling all across for 7-on-7 and weightlifting and working out. Tyler was the same way. We have Miles. Miles was the same way. He was working all off season. All of our seniors, you would see them working this summer or last summer. So the biggest thing is that our seniors really put in the hard work for this season.
Yeah. Eric, remind everybody what position you play.
I play wide receiver and slot.
Okay, so I know you're primarily, in that. So just kind of talk about like some of the things that you worked on this summer to get ready for, the upcoming year. Like what was uh
Mhm.
what was that like?
Um, well, the first thing I wanted to work on always was my mental. To be a receiver, you got to be mentally checked in. You got to be ready to go. The ball could come your way anytime. That was one thing. And then the second biggest thing was making plays, staying on top of the playbook too, staying on top of the playbook for sure, making sure I know everything and just fixing my craft, like cuts, catching. I catch 100 balls a day. I'm always working on my hand-eye coordination any type of way. So my biggest thing overall of this offseason, what I was bringing in was just the big plays, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you like you yourself like mentally get ready for a game?
Um, I was always around the boys when we were before the game, so we were always getting hype on the bus. Away games we were always super hype. Home games, I was a little bit more quieter at home games. I just sit down in the locker room by myself. I don't talk to anybody. Just play my music and just lock in and pray. I always pray before the game heavily.
Yeah. What's on Eric's playlist?
Uh, that's a good question. Uh, I listen to a lot of Lil Baby. I listen to a lot of Lil Baby while I'm about to play. Um, who else do I listen to? It's honestly just Lil Baby, and then sometimes like a couple local rappers from Detroit.
Okay.
or from Flint, around those areas.
All right. Um, okay, so best moment from this season.
Oh, that's hard. Oh, it's got to be when we played Ferndale and we dumped the water on Coach Meyer because we knew we were going to clinch. One, we were going to clinch uh, the gold league, and I think that was his 100th win. I'm pretty sure. So in his whole career, so that's his 100th win. So that was definitely my favorite moment for sure.
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
so to take the gold title, what does that mean to say that we won this division?
You know, I someone asked me that earlier too. It means a lot, because I think our school deserves it, and we worked really hard, so we deserve it. But at the end of the day, that's not what the goal was. The goal was to keep going throughout the weeks and keep playing until Thanksgiving, but it didn't end up being that way.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. Going off that, what are you going to most remember about your time playing football at Avondale?
Being with this group of people for sure. I mean, when I was a freshman, all the other kids like Tyler, Miles, they all played JV and stuff like that. So I never really got to play with those guys. And junior year, I transferred to De La Salle and I didn't get to play with those guys again. So this year, like just playing with those guys that I grew up with meant a lot to me. And that was definitely one of the things I'll remember playing at Avondale.
Yeah. And then just coming into this what is let me ask you this. I always ask a lot of seniors this question. What does football mean to you?
Football is life to me. Football, if I didn't have football, I mean, I would just be a regular student and I just don't see myself being that way. I just need to be involved in something I can pour my heart out to. And football was definitely one of them. And football is everything to me. And that's what definitely got me through high school for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. Um and just kind of talk about like what is next, planning on what's the plans for the rest of the year and all that. Just kind of go into what your plans are the rest of the year.
Um, so now just to take some time off. I mean, I had an injury during the season. I broke my foot. So still recovering from that. So I'm gonna go to a couple of work, or what is it? It's like a sports medicine place to see what I can do to recover a little bit better, get some x-rays and stuff like that. So definitely take some time off. And then once I'm done with that, get right back to it, right back to the grind every single day.
Okay. Um, what are you going to miss most about high school football?
Hmm. The atmosphere, the people that show you that they really care about you succeeding. I mean, when we won games and stuff like that, we got teachers telling us congratulations, the staff, parents. That's something that you'll never forget. And that's definitely one of them for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to know you a little bit, Eric. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your all-time favorite football memory?
All time favorite football memory when we beat Holly this year. Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Um, most what's your go-to place for food?
Go to place? Uh, that's a good question. Most recently I've been more McDonald's type of guy, and I like eating my mom's food too. The food my mom cooks here for sure. So
Okay.
I'm usually here.
Okay. Pre-game meal before game.
That's good. We eat before games, so we'll have like chicken tenders and macaroni and stuff like that. It's great. It gets you fueled up and it gets me fired up and energized for sure.
Yeah. Um, best and finally, what's an interesting fact about you?
An interesting fact. I would say that's a good question. Um, hmm. An interesting fact about me would probably be is I'm probably the funniest person you know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, Eric, thank you so much for the time, man. We will
Of
definitely
course.
we'll definitely have you on again sometime soon, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.